Hello everyone and welcome back to another Figurehead Reviews video, and in today's video we are going to be taking a look at the DC Multiverse Clayface Collect and Connect Wave Batwoman. Here we have Batwoman in the front window box displayed with her Collect and Connect pieces and her alternate head. We get some artwork here on the side, we get the same artwork here on this side, we get a close-up of the artwork here, and then we get another same shot of that same artwork on the back, along with all the other figures needed in this wave to complete the Collect and Connect Clayface. And then we have the read-up, Batwoman must return to the darkest places of her past to prevent the spread of the new bioweapon, Monster Venom. That's a reference, of course, to the Rebirth storyline going on with Batwoman right now. There's the UPC code, so you can check with your local retailer to see if they have it in stock. But enough about that, let's get Batwoman open and take a look outside the packaging. And here is Batwoman outside of the packaging, and mixed feelings so far, as it is another example of the direction that we're going in with the Mattel Articulation, and it feels really good with, especially for a female character, some of the posing that I can get her in. We're still missing things like ankle pivot. As you can see, her feet are not standing flat. She's kind of supported by her cape a bit there. But we do get hinges and rotation on the wrist, which is something we haven't seen in the Multiverse line. And we are getting that newer articulation for the legs. So there's some positive things for sure to be said about this figure, but there are still some limitations, which we will go over. She does come with, of course, the Collect and Connect pieces for Clayface, his head and lower torso, which we will look at closer detail once we put him together. And she does come with an alternate head, which instead of doing a separate bit on, we are going to just look at right now in closer looks. So getting a better look at the unmasked Kate Kane, we can see a pretty decent head sculpt. I just don't really know about the paint job. The sculpting itself doesn't look bad. It's pretty basic. The hair, I feel like, I know she's got a buzz cut, but I feel like we could have had a little bit of a better, I don't know, just better texturing or something. The color is fine. She is a very pale character, so it's okay that she appears very pale. The eyes look like they came out okay. I don't know. It just feels very plain. Doesn't feel like a face sculpt that I would expect to see with a $20 figure. More like something I would expect to see with like their value line. The other thing is you can see it sits kind of high up. It doesn't look awkward necessarily, but it does sit kind of high up on the peg, so much so that you can literally see, especially if you have it looking down at all, you can see those that ball joint. And to switch out the head, they do pop off. I will admit I want to be careful anytime I'm switching these heads. I don't like Mattel's ball joints. I feel like when I'm putting on the heads, you can see how it bends there. You want to be very careful popping on the head. So what I usually do is just sort of work at it kind of slowly, and I'm going to feel it moving around. There we go. And then finally it pops in. So taking a look at the masked head, and very cool looking. We get a little bit the underside of the nose, and I almost feel like the nose maybe is a little too wide. But overall, not a bad head and pretty well sculpted. But yeah, I feel like that nose is just too big for this character. The hair came out looking good, very long. If you don't know, yes, she has a buzz cut, but the wig or the hair is actually part of the mask. So, but yeah, that came out okay, and that is a flexible material in there, so not bad. So looking down here, the other thing, the logo, so it's very sharp lines like what we've seen with a lot of Mattel stuff, very sharp lines and well done. However, I feel like it's a little too fat. I feel like it should be smaller this way and more spread out across the chest, but whatever. Clasps on the cape look good. Cape itself, I think, looks very good. Came out, yeah, looks like I would expect a cape to look. Going down the rest of the character, belt, not bad. It is glued in place, so it doesn't slide around. Yeah, I think it's glued right here on the back side, it looks like. Arms came out looking good. You get the gauntlet. You get a open hand, but you don't get any sort of accessory for it. And then you do get a fisted hand on this side, which looks good. And then not a whole lot else going on. And again, talking about that line work that Mattel does, very sharp line work when it comes to some of their paint. So the boots are well painted, but for the most part, there's not a whole lot going on with this character other than the paint on the logo on her chest, which again, I think came out just slightly off, and the nose on the sculpt that came out just a little bit too big. And checking out the scale, we can see that Batwoman comes in at about 6¼ inches tall, so a little over 6 inches, putting her in line with most of the other figures in this line. We do get some decent head rotation, and actually the hair doesn't inhibit that too badly, so that's not too shabby there. She can still kind of look over her shoulder. She can look down pretty decent, but because of that hair, she is not able to look up. And then the head does kind of have some wobble and other types of, not really articulation that's built into that peg, but just articulation that can kind of work with it. Her arms can go up definitely pretty far. She does get full rotation there at the shoulder. She does have a single jointed elbow with a rotation at the elbow as well. She does have that hinge I mentioned in the wrist, which is great, so you do get full rotation and the hinge. She does have a diaphragm joint, which looks back decently, looks forward decently, and of course you get some very good side-to-side with that as well. No waist articulation. She does have the newer Mattel-style legs, go that far wide, kick that far forward, does not go back really at all, but she does have a upper thigh cut, double jointed knees, and I should mention mine, they are pretty loose. So I don't know what the deal is, but I seem to be cursed with loose joints a lot lately. And she does have a hinge at the ankle, but no pivot. So like I said, we are seeing some of the new articulation that Mattel has to offer, but not all of the new articulation that Mattel has to offer. And for a quick comparison, here is Batwoman next to some recent Multiverse releases for female figures. We have Batgirl and Wonder Girl, and we can definitely see that Batwoman is coming in on the little bit bigger side than both of these characters, definitely bigger than Batgirl. So the scale, I think, is definitely right on. She is a more intimidating female character for sure. And here she is next to the other figure in this wave I've reviewed so far with the Rebirth Superman. And that about does it for this review, everyone. And again, Mattel is moving in the right direction. We're getting some better articulation. We're actually able to get some dynamic posing out of some of these figures, and even for a female figure with Multiverse, we're getting some decent poses here. We'll pretend that this is a Colony character and not Rick Flag from Suicide Squad. But really going in the right direction. I'm really excited to see the next wave of Multiverse figures. Can't wait for that Collect and Connect Lex Luthor in the super suit. But all in all, cool figure. Again, I've been plagued with loose joints, it seems, lately, so I'm really glad that I figured out my trick for that. And all in all, though, decent articulation. We get the double jointed knees. We still got the single jointed elbows, but I love those hinged wrists. That is, again, a big move for Multiverse figures. Very excited. So can't wait to get the Clayface Collect and Connect figure put together. But yeah, definitely check out this figure if you're a fan of the Bat family for sure. But aside from that, if you did like this review, please make sure to hit that like button down below. Make sure to hit subscribe so that you can catch the rest of this wave that I am reviewing. And aside from that, thanks for watching the video and have a great day.